steamy Statesboro, Georgia, a rematch of the 1998 D1 AA National Championship game. It's UMass and Georgia Southern on ESPN+. And with that, we say hello alongside Danny Waugh. I'm Greg Talbot, and thanks for being with us tonight here on ESPN+. Well, these teams met 1 year ago in Amherst, and Danny, it was the straw that broke the camel's back for Georgia Southern in 2017.
Absolutely, Greg. Following this game last season is when the Eagles made Chad Lunsford the interim head coach for the rest of the season.
So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the players to watch. We'll start with UMass because they're the away team, and they have one of the most electric offenses of their kind in Division I, and they're led by Andy Isabella. He's a guy who projects to the NFL.
Yeah, he's a great NFL scout talent right now. Had a great 2017 season, over 1,000 receiving yards and 10 touchdowns. He'll be the primary #1 receiver for the Minutemen here tonight.
One of the guys trying to guard him is the reigning Sun Belt Conference Player of the Week, the Georgia Southern linebacker. He's a real stud. That's Tamarcio Reese.
Yeah, the senior had a great first game against South Carolina State, totaled 10 tackles, and also recorded his first interception. He looks to do the same thing here tonight against UMass.
UMass beat the Eagles in the 1998 FCS National Championship. They beat them last year 55-20, and today at home, the Eagles look for revenge. It's coming up after the break on ESPN+. From Paulson Stadium in Statesboro, you're watching Sun Belt Conference football on ESPN+. Alongside Danny Waugh, I'm Greg Talbot. Thank you so much for joining us this evening from Paulson Stadium. And Danny, as we get ready for kickoff, let's take a look at the impact players we'll be watching for tonight.
And you see here for Georgia Southern, Monquavian Brinson, he's going to have a tough task guarding Andy Isabella, the wide receiver. And for UMass, you look at Brighton Barr, he has been the leader on the defensive side for the Minutemen this season.
Over on the left side of your screen, you're seeing there the running back, number 22, Bilal Ali. We will see him very early on because Georgia Southern won the toss. They deferred. We will see this UMass offense up first, Danny. And as we get ready to talk about UMass, let's get ready to talk about their head coach. Mark Whipple has been here a long time, and he's a guy with a pretty terrific pedigree.
And it's also rare to see a coach start a program, leave, then come back. Whipple started as the head coach back in 1998. His first season with the Minutemen, he won the 98 National Championship over Georgia Southern.
And on the Georgia Southern sideline, Chad Lunsford in his first full season as head coach, coming off a big win in Game 1 last week against South Carolina State.
And you see the look on his face. He is dialed up for this game. He knows that the Week 1 win against South Carolina State was good, but this is a true test for Georgia Southern here this evening.
So we had a late filing in crowd tonight here at Paulson Stadium, but a pretty good student section. They had about 10,000 last week hit their goal. And back to receive for UMass is Jesse Britt. And then Marquise Young. As Tyler Bass gets ready to kick it away for the Georgia Southern Eagles here for Game 2, officially of the Chad Lunsford era. And we're underway in Statesboro. Bass puts a boot into this one. Young will take it from the back of the end zone. He will not bring it out, so UMass will take the ball from their own 20-yard line. All right, Danny, so UMass is a unique offense, one of the most unique of their kind in the country. They have a dual quarterback system, but as far as we've been told as we get ready to begin today's game, we're looking at the redshirt senior quarterback, Andrew Ford, number 7 to lead this offense. He is one of the best quarterbacks in the history of UMass.
Yeah, one of the top all-time leaders in completion percentage as well, almost 70%. And this is going to be a very unpredictable time for Georgia Southern because, like you said, Greg, they go with a dual quarterback system, but it's not going by every series or so. They kind of just randomly put them in.
Ford is a lefty. Ross Comas, the other quarterback, is a right-hander. They're very different. But on the first play of the game, they will turn and give it to Young. He stays on his feet for a nice gain. He's up to the 35-yard line. It looks like he might have come up just a yard short as Josh Moon, the safety, comes in for the tackle.
Good tackle by Josh Moon. Rashad Bird had an opportunity to make the tackle on the inside, but got blocked going out, making room for the running back.
And UMass will move quickly. They got the first down. And on the second play from scrimmage, gets rid of it just in time, and it's off the hands of Andy Isabella.
And that's the beauty of the 3-4 defense for Georgia Southern. You saw Jay Baldry rush in on the outside, putting pressure on Ford to throw the ball away.
And the intended target there, Andy Isabella, we talked him off the top of the broadcast, Danny. He is one of 7 UMass receivers in school history with over 2,000 yards receiving. But we'll see him go back to the ground here as Young is brought down for a gain of 3 yards. That'll bring up 3rd and long.
And you see how UMass wasted no time to get back into it. And great stop by the front line by Georgia Southern.
So a new set coming in here for Southern, rotating a couple players on and off. And we'll see UMass go to the air here as they send Young off the field. And we'll see what Ford can do, the Virginia Tech transfer quarterback. Taking plenty of time. Lets it go to the far side. That's a complete pass to Isabella. He's got a first down and more down toward the Georgia Southern 40-yard line as Rashad Bird runs him out of bounds. And Danny, that's the thing about Isabella. He is so fast and so agile that he can get separation with almost no effort.
Yeah, already has looks from a lot of NFL teams right now. Expect more by the end of the season. There was some confusion on the Southern defense trying to figure out what they were going to run here for this play.
UMass already onto their 3rd first down of the opening drive. Along the outside, this is Jordan Fredericks. He's got a first down to the 33-yard line before he's run out of bounds, and Monquavian Brinson pushed him out.
And we talked about how Andy Isabella is a great receiver, but he's also a great blocker. He was able to get the block on the cornerback to make the running back have plenty of space to get the first down.
So now we've already seen Young and Fredericks take handoffs for UMass. We have not seen their leading rusher on the year yet, though. That would be Bilal Ali. On the new first down, they'll go off play action again to the far side. That one knocked out of the hands of Avin Paya. And great D there by Josh Moon.
That time for Georgia Southern, they had 4 men up front. The linebacker on the right side putting pressure, but Ford able to get it off in time, however, incomplete.
Well, I would say outside of that first down pass they gave up to Andy Isabella, Danny, the Georgia Southern secondary has done a pretty darn good job of staying on their receivers, and that's going to be the story of today's game as they get ready here on 2nd and long. UMass went from under center. You almost never see that, and Young is dropped just past the line of scrimmage.
Great move by Jay Baldry again on the outside, putting pressure, forcing the running back to move inside and letting the defensive line do their job.
So this will bring up another 3rd down and call it 7 yards for UMass. Interesting to see him go from under center there. They are almost exclusively a shotgun team when it is Andrew Ford quarterbacking, because Ford is the much more comfortable drop back in the pocket passer. The other quarterback, Ross Comas, is more of a mobile guy. 3rd down and long. Ford looks to throw. Eagles only bring 4. Gets rid of it. Another complete pass. Again, it's Andy Isabella, and it's his 2nd first down for the Minutemen. Tamarcio Reese on the tackle, but not soon enough.
You talk about how calm Andrew Ford is in the pocket. Right when it was about to collapse, he was able to get the ball out. Once again, Georgia Southern showing pressure on the left side with Baldry trying to blitz in.
Yeah, Ford's composure is really standing out already.
Absolutely.
On 1st and 10. Ford rolls out, hits his man, and drops for a loss, I believe, on the play as Young hauled it in coming out of the backfield. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage. That'll bring up 2nd.
The difference for Georgia Southern in today's game compared to last week against South Carolina State, South Carolina State was mainly a running team, and the secondary had to focus on mainly stopping the run. This time they have to stop the pass, working on man and zone coverage all this week leading up to this evening.
About a half-yard gain on the play. Still 2nd down and 10 technically. And again, they'll go for under center with Ford running the offense. Now they'll go on the ground. This time it's again to Young. He's up to the 15-yard line, gain of 2 yards. That'll bring up 3rd down. And Danny, if I'm not crazy, you got to be doubling Andy Isabella here.
It's very interesting to also see UMass going underneath the center With third down, you expect UMass to pass, but I wouldn't be surprised if they run it again.
They've completed 3 passes for UMass on this first drive. 1 to Young right there out of the backfield. The other 2 have been passes to Andy Isabella for a combined 30 yards already. And they put him in motion. On third down, Ford looking left. Making his reads, and he was going for Isabella again, but what a knockdown by Josh Moon. That'll bring up fourth down. Danny, Josh has been everywhere on this opening drive.
Yeah, Moon has been incredible for the Eagle defense on this drive, and you saw Ford looking for Isabella running up the middle, but good pickup by Randy Wade Jr., forcing Ford to make a quick decision and go to another guy, and it was incomplete.
So this is Mike Caggiano. This will be a 32-yard kick. It has the distance. It is up and it is good, and UMass strikes with 3 on their opening drive of this game. Danny, opening thoughts? Better you didn't let him get away with 7, right?
Yeah, great stop here by Georgia Southern.
And we'll take it to break on ESPN Plus. Eagle offense coming out after the break. Back in a hot and steamy Statesboro, Georgia, early in the first quarter on ESPN Plus. UMass gets away with a field goal on their first drive of the day. And now we will see the Georgia Southern offense after this kick. Danny, thoughts on the opening drive for the Minutemen?
Well, this was a great stop for Georgia Southern, holding UMass to just a field goal. They have been a high-scoring team so far in their first 2 games and in all 2017. So if you're able to hold them to a field goal, it's a great way to start.
Talk about high scoring in the UMass season opener. They dropped a 60-burger on Duquesne. Caggiano puts it in the air. This is not a particularly far kick. And this is Wes Kennedy from inside the 10-yard line. Nice move up to the 27, and that's where we will see Georgia Southern take over. And the man leading their offense, Danny, is the shining star of this team so far in 2018. It's the second-year starting quarterback, the redshirt sophomore, Shai Wirtz. And boy, did he have an unbelievable Week 1 game against South Carolina State.
Yeah, really did a good job as quarterback for Georgia Southern. Recorded 3 touchdowns, over 150 rushing yards in the first game of the season. 40. He was a little rusty in the first game, but after this past week in practice, he seems to be picking up the offense more and more as they go along under new offensive coordinator Bob DeBess. Expect possibly a better performance from Wirtz here today.
Believe it or not, Shai, although he's familiar with this team, didn't get to play against UMass last year when these 2 teams met up at Amherst. But Kennedy in motion. On first down, they'll give up the middle to Wesley Fields. He's got a decent gain that time for maybe 3 yards. That'll bring up second down. Now, the reason that Shai didn't get to play against UMass last year, Danny, was because in the previous game against New Mexico State, he got really knocked up, and they just thought, hey, let's just keep him out and let LeBaron Anthony and Cato Brown play instead. Yeah,
that injury was pretty significant for him, causing him to miss that game. But, he's happy to be out there tonight.
Second down and 6 yards coming up. And they'll run the option. They'll pitch it already to Monteo Garrett. He's great in space, and he's got a first down for Georgia Southern.
Great run by Garrett for UMass on defense. You saw the linebacker shifting left while Garrett ran right, so had plenty of room to run, good gap, and able to get the first down.
And Danny, talking to the Georgia Southern coaches this week, they were talking about how Shai felt the need clearly in Week 1 to make plays himself and how he didn't quite pitch it enough in their estimation. Nice to see he's already going to his teammates here on the first drive.
Expect more runs from Garrett and Wesley Fields here this evening.
Fully loaded backfield on first down as they go up the middle of Fields again, and he's got a gain of 5 yards. And nice to see, Danny, that they're getting some movement up the middle. Again, talking to the coaches this week, they were talking about how last week Southern had the vast majority of ball movement along the outside. Bob DeBess was saying to us that they need to be able to get more gains up the middle, and clearly the offensive line has made some adjustments.
Yeah, last week in South Carolina State, every time they took the ball at the middle, they only got a gain of about 2 or 3 yards. So they really want to establish an inside running game.
2nd down and 6. Wirtz on the keeper. He's up to the 45-yard line. He'll be just 1 yard short, and a nice last-second read on his part.
See, Wirtz does a very good job at faking out the defenders with his eyes. That's how he's been able to get so much space to get yards up the lane.
So 3rd down and a short 2 for Georgia Southern. This is the first 3rd down they have faced here on their opening drive. And only Obi Fortune split out to the top of your screen as the lone receiver. It's Fields. There was a hand on his face mask. No flag comes in. He's up to the 45, maybe 44. If he didn't get it, he's going to be by just a half yard short. And he is. He'll be short by about a half yard.
And he noticed to the ref showing the face mask saying, hey, I got grabbed there. Good job by the UMass defense. They put 6 men up front and blitz 5. Was able to make the stop.
Well, Southern went for it twice on 4th down on their first drive last week, and they'll go for it again here. Fields in motion. It's the give to Monteo Garrett. And he's got a 1st down. The redshirt senior out of Talladega, Alabama, moves the chains.
Good job for the Eagles to get the 4th down conversion. UMass only having 4 men up front. All the linebackers were placed in the 2nd level. If you're UMass and you know you're going against a running team like Georgia Southern, you got to show 5 and 6, just like you did on the 3rd down play, if you want to make a stop and get a turnover on downs.
So UMass moved the ball very well on their opening drive of the game. Southern now confidently marching down the field themselves. And Monteo Garrett has some space as he cuts to the outside. He's a home run hitter. It takes a couple Minutemen to bring him down as he's inside the 20-yard line.
As a running back, you only have a split second to hit the hole before it closes in. And Garrett did a great job able to break through, and the rest was all talent and speed from him.
And of the 5 in the stable of Georgia Southern running backs, it's pretty much not even a question, Danny. Of the 5, Monteo Garrett is the big speed home run hitter when he's got a hole.
Absolutely. And Garrett already, as you see, this season, 27 yards and a touchdown he had picked up against South Carolina State.
On the new 1st down, they'll give it back to Garrett. Breaks one of the defensive linemen's hands as he comes flying through. We also see a flag flying in as it got up to the 15-yard line for a gain.
Garrett will come off the field. A good run. We'll wait to see what the penalty is and who it will be on.
Personal foul, targeting, defense number 7. The previous play is under further review.
And as you heard from the referees, we have a targeting call coming in now. That is quite a surprise. Danny, tell us a little bit more about what that means in college football here in 2018.
Well, it's a 15-yard penalty, first of all, and also an ejection, as you see here on your screen. And it was a helmet hit, so you can always overturn a call, reverses both ejection and a penalty. And not a good look for UMass trying to stop Georgia Southern on this opening drive.
And we will wait to see the official replay. But as we get a second as the officials review this here in Statesboro, I would say, Danny, as a look at this Georgia Southern offense, they are pretty pleased with how this opening drive has gone.
Yeah, and hopefully for UMass, you don't want to have a man down if the officials confirm that it is a targeting call. And Georgia Southern definitely wants to get the victory over UMass from last year. We talked about, Greg, how UMass defeated Georgia Southern 55-20. Also in that game, UMass put up a school record 670 total yards of offense in that win. Here's another look. See where the targeting call took place.
That looks to be on Leon Flanagan Jr., the 6'2", 220 junior defensive lineman.
And you saw as the running back was going down, he led with his helmet first, and you can't do that. That may cost him.
It cost him 15 yards. or his spot in this ball game. Flanagan, the starting defensive end. And let's hear from the referees.
After further review, there is no foul for targeting. Result for play is second down.
So it's overturned. So
And
Flanagan.
you can hear the fans here in Statesboro not happy about that one bit. I would say, Danny, based on the review we just saw, there was contact. I would not say that was intentional.
Yeah, he got away with that one. Lucky break for Flanagan, gets to stay in the game. And also, more importantly, it's not a 15-yard penalty.
So now Georgia Southern gets the ball. Second down and 6, which is what it would have been after the gain anyway. Brown goes in motion, the backup tight end. Fields takes the handoff, picks it maybe 2 or 3 yards. That'll bring up third down and short in the red zone for UMass. And Danny, just a reality of the game, Georgia Southern didn't have to spend a whole lot of time last week in the South Carolina State red zone. This should be the first real test on this drive, I think.
Yeah, and the important thing for Georgia Southern on their offense, they're able to run the clock out. Knowing how quickly UMass can score with their passing game, taking as much time off of the clock limits UMass's offense.
The Eagles have not passed yet today. And they won't as they give it to Monteo Garrett. He's down inside the 10-yard line toward the 8. It's going to be awfully close as tackle was made. Tackle made there by James Bowe. Garrett off. It's going to be fourth down again. And then we talked to Chad Lunsford earlier this week. He said he actually wanted to go for it even more on fourth down. So no surprise he'll go for it here again on fourth and a short 2. Right in motion. They give the Fields. He tries to cut along the outside, and he's not going to get it. A big stop by the Minutemen defense here in the first quarter.
Well, UMass learned the first time Georgia Southern went for it on fourth down. They loaded up the box and was able to prevent Wesley Fields from getting the first.
And that'll take us to a timeout here on ESPN Plus. Georgia Southern comes up short on their first drive. They still trail UMass here in the first quarter. So Georgia Southern goes for it on fourth down in the UMass red zone and comes up short. They do not convert, so they still trail by 3 as the Minutemen take back over. Danny, are they going to regret that?
I don't think so. We talked to Chad Lunsford. He said he wants to go for it more on fourth down, and that's what Georgia Southern is known for, that one more time mentality, taking chances like that.
So UMass will take it from inside their own 10-yard line. On first down, the run play action. This is Ross Comas, the other quarterback. He dumps it off to Jordan Fredericks. He's got a big first down and more past the 35-yard line.
And with Ross Comas, then he's more of the running quarterback, likes to move out of the pocket and try to create situations on his own. This time he rolled right, forcing everybody on the Georgia Southern defense to move right, leaving plenty of open space on the opposite side for the receiver to make the catch.
And once again, UMass moves quickly. Comas dives ahead, maybe a gain of 1 yard. So, Danny, for the Georgia Southern fans in the audience who don't know about Ross Comas, he's also a redshirt senior like Ford, but what does he allow them to do with this offense that Andrew Ford might not?
Well, one thing is having a dual quarterback system puts pressure on the defense because it's not just one quarterback they have to worry about and watch film on. It's 2, and it's always unpredictable who's going to be in.
Comas on play action again, comes to the near side, pass incomplete. He was intending at that time for Sadiq Palmer. That'll bring up long third down.
So third down and 10, expect UMass to throw the ball here and expect Georgia Southern to possibly double team Andy Isabella as he is the #1 target for the Minutemen.
Comas 1 for 2 passing on this drive already. They send Jesse Britton in motion. They have not targeted him yet today. Comas with plenty of time, throws over the middle of the field, nearly intercepted by Sean Freeman. It's off his hands. That'll still force a fourth down.
One thing the Georgia Southern defensive line has been able to do here against UMass is collapse the pocket, and Comas didn't have much time here. Pressure as Boncavian Britson almost got to him. And great effort by Vildor, almost getting the interception.
Really terrific play on defense. So Wes Kennedy back to receive the punt for Georgia Southern back at the 25-yard line. And the kick is away. Spiraling back down inside the 10-yard line. Kennedy from the 6. Thrown back down around the 13, and that's where Georgia Southern will take it. And we'll take it with them here on ESPN Plus as we wind our way down toward the end of the first quarter. Still 3-0 Minutemen, but the Southern offense coming right back out. Georgia Southern takes back over on offense with 3:05 to go in the first quarter, trailing by 3 points inside their own 15. And here comes the option for Shai Wertz. He loved to run that play last week, and he loves to run it again. That's a gain of 15 yards and a first down to start the drive, Danny.
We talked about the eyes of Shai Wertz, how he's able to fake out defenders once again, able to find some space and get the first down for the Eagles.
What was the best thing he did to you last week?
Best thing that he did? Well, the best thing was able to find space and be able to get yards. I mean, you look at how well and efficient he was in the first game against the Bulldogs.
So now outside of the shadow of their own goalpost, up to about the 30-yard line for a new first down. And they'll run the option. He's gobbled back up to the 30-yard line. Maybe they're back to the line of scrimmage. That'll bring up second down.
And now after a series, you're going to see UMass adapt here to the running game for Georgia Southern. This play, they had 5 men up front, able to pretty much break up that play, and only a yard for Georgia Southern.
We saw an interesting package of backs in the backfield for that particular play. We saw Mark Mashaw, the junior wide receiver, in the backfield. And let's see what they bring out here now on 2nd and 9. An interesting package in. And they'll give up the middle of Fields, and he runs right into the back of his own lineman before he powers his way forward up toward the 40. Should be third down and short this time as Deshaun Ross came in and broke it up.
After speaking with offensive coordinator Bob the Best this past week for Georgia Southern, he said that now about 40% of the playbook has been implemented for this offense. So you're going to see some different things. That wild 3-back play you saw in the first down, you can see more of that throughout this game.
More different looks. They only had a couple last week, if we're being frank. 3rd down and 1 here for Wertz. They'll go to Fields again. He's got the first down and more. Fields is in open space. He's got one man to beat, and the convoy's going to catch up to him. He's down to the UMass 20-yard line for a huge gain for Georgia Southern.
And UMass had a lot of men up front, but a great job by the offensive line for blocking towards the right side. Give credit to left tackle Jeremiah Colbriff and left guard Aaron Dowdell for leaving space for Wesley Fields to go up the middle.
So the Eagles have already been in the red zone once today. In case you're just joining us, they went for it on 4th down inside the 10. They came up short. Dan, you got to come away with points this time, though, right?
Absolutely. You got to definitely get in the end zone before the quarter ends.
UMass brings 4. Wertz beats one of the blitzing linebackers and cuts to the outside. He's down to the 10-yard line. He's got to gain that time of about 7 or 8 yards.
What a fake out by Shai Wertz. Able to get past that one defender, almost breaking up the play. Seems to be just shy of the first down.
Yeah, they'll give him a gain of 8 yards on that play. Now Shai already 28 yards rushing for Georgia Southern. And that'll take us down to the end of the first quarter here on ESPN Plus. The Eagles once again threatening in the Minutemen red zone.
Timeout.
Welcome back to the beginning of the second quarter here on ESPN Plus. The first quarter, a keeper by the quarterback, Shai Wertz. He was brought to the ground, and a flag came in immediately from the referees. This one should be on the UMass defense, Danny.
And it should be a face mask, as Wertz went down hard there on the previous play.
And we'll wait for the call.
Personal foul, face mask. Defense, number 30. After this is the goal, automatic first down.
So the UMass defense, a little bit of work to do, Danny, in the red zone. We can now see a face mask call in the red zone, and on the other end, we saw a targeting call initially against them in the first quarter.
Yeah, and that face mask call is going to be on Tyler Hayes, the free safety junior from Clarksville, Texas. So the Eagles have first and goal, not that many yards to get for the touchdown.
Logan Wright and Wesley Fields in the backfield. And on the first down, they'll give it to Wesley. And the defensive line takes him down for maybe a gain of 1 yard. That'll bring up second down. But Wesley has already almost doubled his output from last week against the Bulldogs last Saturday, just 36 yards on 12 carries. So far today, Wesley's already gone for 65 yards.
Yeah, and his first game, that was his first game back from off-season shoulder surgery. It was a little rusty, but he's already been more effective here in this game. In the first quarter, had a 43-yard run.
So here they come on second down and goal. It's Garrett Enfield now in the backfield. And absolutely nothing doing that time. Mario Patton came flying in on the defensive line for the tackle.
Well, every play that Georgia Southern's ran so far in this game have been running plays. So UMass able to pick it up easily, had 7 men up front, and was able to make the stop. And I wouldn't be surprised, Greg, if they do the same thing again here on third down.
Yeah, the Eagles have not gone to the air yet today, and we're already into the second quarter. Although Wertz last week, pretty effective, 5 for 7 passing for 30 yards. No interceptions. Here comes third down and goal for Southern. Their second time in the UMass red zone already. Off play action. He'll look to throw back in the end zone. That's a touchdown for Georgia Southern. It's Cam Brown hauling it in, the backup tight end.
Great play action rollout by Georgia Southern. You saw that UMass had a lot of men on the right side, and Wertz able to roll left, and he had plenty of open space. Threw it high for Cam Brown to reach it. Successful catch and a touchdown for Georgia Southern.
That is the first reception of the year for Cam Brown. And Bass will look to make it 7-3. UMass special teams comes flying in that time, but it is up and it is good. So, Danny, the Eagles go into their bag of tricks for the first pass of the game. It turns out it's a touchdown.
Yeah, great rollout play by Shai Wertz. First passing touchdown of the season for Wertz. And a great job by Georgia Southern after in their first series, and they're down in the end zone, went for it on fourth down and wasn't able to convert.
And I would say, Danny, also talking about this Georgia Southern offense, long, sustained drives both times. And that is one of the things that is going to be a key to this game if Georgia Southern hopes to get revenge and win this game, because we know UMass's passing attack is relentless. It takes a long time to get down the field. They'll put up a lot of points. If you're Southern, you need to give your defense time to rest, and that's what their offense is doing.
And their offense is really good at taking time off the clock. In that first possession earlier, it took about 7 or 8 minutes. This time for the touchdown is about a 6-minute drive. They want to keep on taking time down because, like I said earlier, Greg, UMass can score quickly and effectively.
So now there's some momentum here in Paulson Stadium, although the Eagles have only scored once. Like we said, they got it back down into the red zone both times so far. They've touched the ball on offense. So this offense is clearly rolling as UMass gets ready to bring out their unit for what will be the third time. And Bass puts it in the air. End over end. Down to the 6. Out of bounds. 35-yard line we go. So now the question for UMass when you talk about this team's identity on a drive-by-drive basis. Which quarterback are we going to see for the Minutemen as they huddle up? It looks to me like we'll probably see Andrew Ford here on their third drive.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team, number 16. The ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
And the Minutemen will have good field possession, too, starting at the 35. And if you're UMass, I expect them to pass a lot more here on this drive. Expect them to go deep. The last couple of passing plays they had were about 10, maybe less than 10-yard passes.
And they will bring out the redshirt senior Andrew Ford, the Virginia Tech transfer. 3 for 6 passing on his first drive, went for 30 yards. And on first down, they'll give it on the draw to Marquise Young. And this time he's wrapped up in the backfield as the Georgia Southern defense got to him. And Tamarcia Reese has his first tackle of the day. The reigning Sun Belt Conference Player of the Week, Danny.
Yeah, I was wondering when we were going to see Reese get more involved here on the defense for Georgia Southern. He was the Sun Belt Conference Defensive Player of the Week last week after recording 10 tackles and an interception.
UMass goes here with an empty backfield. So Ford will look to throw as the Eagles bring blitz. Time running out. Flag comes in. Complete pass to Andy Isabella for a short gain. Call it 3 yards, but that smells to me, Danny, like holding on the offense.
And UMass continuing to go with short passes. Josh Moon way back, preventing any receivers to get past him.
Holding. Offense, number 57. 10-yard penalty.
Will be holding on the offense for UMass.
And that'll move him back even farther. Would have been number 57 there, you have to imagine.
Yeah, Ray Thomas Ishman Sr. has to be careful on the left side for the Minutemen.
So now all of a sudden, after the holding call that helped Ford complete the pass but pushed him all the way back, now they're looking at second down and 20. Young goes in motion, so an empty set for UMass. Ford will keep it himself on the design draw, and he is taken down almost immediately. What a great tackle there by Duncan.
And you expect UMass to do that as far as trying to get some form of yardage. Georgia Southern only sent 4 men. They sent Jay Bowdry, leaving an open spot in the middle for Ford to run.
So third down and 16 for the UMass offense. And we have flags coming in from the secondary. And one from the backfield as well.
Ball start. Offense, number 5.
And that'll push it back into third down and 20 territory.
Isabella was just a hair quick before the snap. Referees saw it, and penalties are what's been hurting UMass on offense. First a holding call, now a false start.
And look at the way the Georgia Southern defense is trying to pump up their home team crowd. They are feeling the power of Paulson today on third down and 21. They bring the blitz on the screen play. Here comes Young. Hits the Y button, but he doesn't have nearly enough. He's just gobbled up around the 30-yard line. Tamarcia Reese got a hand on him, as did Lane Ecton, and that'll bring up fourth down.
Minutemen tried to create some space for the running back on the design screen play, but Georgia Southern was able to read it perfectly. And now they'll get the ball right back. We have to appreciate how the defense have been able to limit the UMass offense so far today.
The first drive was certainly the best of the day for UMass. As the punt is away, Kennedy from the 25. He'll call for a fair catch. And that'll take us to a commercial break here on ESPN Plus. Georgia Southern up 7-3 and trying to extend that lead as Shai Wertz leads them back out after the break here on ESPN Plus. And the Eagle offense will march back out onto the field with a 7-3 lead, trying to extend that here as we get into the meat of the second quarter here on ESPN Plus. You see Chad Lunsford pretty happy with his team. Eagles have marched into the UMass red zone twice already, come away with a touchdown once. Wertz on play action will throw for the second time. That's a complete pass for Georgia Southern. It's Wes Kennedy. Kennedy down inside the opposing 35-yard line. And Danny, he was the most versatile player of the week last week against South Carolina State, and he's thrown his hat in the ring again today.
And when you give Wesley Kennedy space, he is able to definitely make a big play. Had plenty of open area to make the grab. was pushed out of bounds late by Bryce McAllister.
Kennedy, of course, out of Savannah proper. Played for Benedictine Military School, led the cadets to a state championship his senior year over in Atlanta. Became a breakout star late last year and is making his mark already here in 2018. They give to Logan Wright, the redshirt freshman running back, getting his first touch. He's got a gain of 5 or 6 yards that time. 23 yards on just 3 carries last week. Danny, the Eagle fans seem to be pretty pleased with his performance in week 1.
Absolutely. And now you're starting to see Georgia Southern mix it up. They faked out the Minutemen on that first play on the passing play to Wesley Kennedy, then going for the run. You may see them pass more here to keep the Minutemen on their toes.
So they'll call it a gain of 5 yards. 2nd down and 5 now. They give to Monteo Garrett, not a lot of space, gets hit with a shoulder and will come up just short of the 1st down marker. Up to the 26, and that'll bring up 3rd and short, but that hasn't been much of a problem so far for the Eagles today, Danny. They're about 50% on 3rd down.
With 3rd down and just about a yard to go, UMass could expect Georgia Southern to run, so they could load the box to prevent the Eagles from running up the middle. They've gotten a good couple of plays in the first quarter with runs up the middle, including the big run by Wesley Fields.
3rd down and 1 for Southern. Anderson split to the top of your screen as the lone receiver. They're going to give it to Wright, the redshirt freshman, and he's got a 1st down. His productivity continues.
Wright was able to squeeze his way through for the 1st down as UMass had 5 men up front, but Wright was able to follow his blockers. And sometimes that's going to be tough for the offensive line for Georgia Southern, because when you have linebackers playing up, the linemen have to go straight from the defensive lineman and then go to the next guy in the 2nd level.
The coaching staff clearly considers Wright to be their power running back of the future, showing it by giving him more touches in a meaningful game today. On the new 1st down, they'll run the option. Wirtz will try to keep it himself, and he's going to get drilled for a loss on the play. Coming in on the tackle that time is Norwood. Joseph Norwood, one of the big contributors to this UMass defense last year, comes back today after missing week 1. Came in for the tackle there, his 2nd of the day so far. And Georgia Southern will call a timeout, Danny, to decide what they want to do.
Southern.
And we'll
First
find
charge
out after
timeout
the
of
break here on ESPN+. Southern knocking on the door again of the UMass red zone. Georgia Southern's got it 2nd down and 10 as they're knocking on the door of the UMass red zone for what would be the 3rd time today. They'll put Wes Kennedy in motion, play action pass. They'll dump it off to Kennedy, but the pass incomplete. That'll bring up a big 3rd down and long here, Danny.
Yeah, and Shy Wirtz pressured, resulting in the off throw to Wesley Kennedy. The defensive line for UMass able to collapse the pocket.
So that was the first incomplete pass so far today by Shy Wirtz. Prior to that, he'd been 2 for 2 for 44 yards and a touchdown. One so far today came to the backup tight end, Cam Brown. Might see him go to the air again here. And Shy will look to uncork one. Does along the far side. It's off the hands of Mark Michaud. And that'll bring up 4th down. He hadn't made a catch yet in 2018. That would have been his first.
And great awareness by Shy Wirtz to get the ball out of his hands quickly. UMass showing blitz on that 3rd down play.
And surprising to see Michaud miss that one. He led the team in receiving against UMass last year, where he hauled in a couple of catches for 88 yards. There's a 41-yard attempt for Tyler Bass. UMass almost got a hand on that one, but it will sail through and make the score 10-3. And Georgia Southern, at least, Danny, they keep putting points on the board when it matters.
And this time they were able to go for the field goal on fourth down instead of going for it in general after they were 1 for 2 in their first drive of the evening.
So based on what we heard from the Georgia Southern coaches this week, the things they wanted to work on entering this game were making space up the middle for their running backs instead of having go to the outside. I would say mission accomplished on that so far.
For sure. They've done a great job getting the ball up the middle. We saw the big run by Wesley Fields. Offensive line doing a great job pushing away the defense of UMass. They've gotten great opportunities so far in this game.
The Minutemen drove down the field and scored on their first drive of the game. Since then, nothing doing on offense. The Georgia Southern DBs knew that they were the key to this game for the Eagles today. They have been not quite locked down, but I would say not far from it, Danny, so far since that first drive.
Yeah, after that first drive from UMass has been all Georgia Southern for the most part. The defense have been getting it done this evening.
Yeah, 10 unanswered points from Southern. And that one flies out of the back of the end zone. So we have seen Andrew Ford twice at quarterback for UMass. We have seen Ross Comis once. And they seem to alternate about 50-50 in close games. So as we wind down toward the 7-minute mark, I'll be interested, Dana, to see exactly which quarterback they go to, which means which different offense we will see. When it's Andrew Ford, it tends to be a drop-back passing offense. When it's Ross Comis, it tends to be a much more mobile quarterback option run system.
Well, with 7 minutes left to go in the second quarter, expect Andrew Ford to possibly come out here and move the ball down the field. That's what we have not really seen from UMass since the first drive.
And it's going to be Andrew Ford, a 60% passer this year. But he won't pass here on first down. He'll give it to Young as he tries to scoot along the outside. Dives forward. He's got a gain of about 6 yards. Rather, Jordan Fredericks on the run by mistake. Jordan Fredericks was already an accomplished running back by the time he transferred into UMass. Played his first 2 years of college football at Syracuse and was pretty good for the Orange. 2nd and 3 now. And they'll go to Fredericks again. The former Syracuse running back has a first down, and he's up to the 40-yard line. I'll say this, Danny, I am a little bit surprised we have not seen their leading rusher on the year, Bilal Ali, take a handoff yet.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see early in this game as you have a player down for Georgia Southern. That's going to be Sean Freeman. The Eagles showed 5 to blitz on that play. Freeman able to get up and hop out of the game. Take a look at the running play up the middle. Was able to squeeze through a couple of Eagle defenders.
UMass running out of that bunch formation with a bunch of receivers and tight ends blocked up in there. Ford will look to throw on first down. Such calm pocket presence. Throws far side. And it looks like that one was hauled in by Taylor Edwards. It is inbounds, and it will be a first down.
And Ford so confident, not really responding to what the Eagle front has been showing. No matter what, he's able to stay in the pocket and get the ball out quickly. There you see, he's able to throw out.
On 2nd down and short, it's Andy Isabella, and he is wrapped up for a loss on the play by Kendall Vildor.
You talk about Ali not getting a handoff. We haven't seen much from Andy Isabella. He's gotten a couple of catches, 3 catches so far on the day, but they haven't been for big yards.
So that'll bring up 3rd down and 3 here for UMass. They've had much better luck rushing the ball, actually, than they have passing outside of deep plays. That's Fredericks in the backfield with Ford. And on 3rd down, they'll look to throw. That's a complete pass. They went right back to Edwards, and that'll be a first down for UMass.
The Eagles had a late man blitzing on the right side. Almost got to Ford, but Ford, once again, able to make a quick throw. It's a first down for the Minutemen.
Yeah, Edwards, a guy who hasn't seen a ton of action catching passes this season, but they've already gone to him twice on this drive. Eagles only bring 4, near side pass. It's complete. And that is Jesse Britt with his first catch of the game. He's got a first down up to the 35-yard line.
You're starting to see the passing game open up now for UMass. And also, look at this, Greg. They're throwing outside, having guys run onto the sidelines, trying to save as much time here in the second quarter.
And UMass's offense now starting to find their rhythm as they wind their way toward the 4:30 mark. Defense with pressure, near side. That's a complete pass as they went back to the near sideline. They'll find Andy Isabella, and that'll move the chains again. That is his fourth catch already in the first half.
Pressure on the left side from Georgia Southern. Almost got to Ford for the sack, but Ford, no matter what's going on around him, he stays composed.
Minutemen going no huddle. Ford looks to throw, goes far side. Andy Isabella makes the catch for the third time this drive, and he's got a gain of 9 yards on the play as Monquavian Brinson pushed him out of bounds.
This time the Eagles tried to put pressure on Ford, sending 6 on the no-huddle play.
Not sure it's working.
Well, now UMass starting to drive down the field. They're starting to find open men. It seems like their deep offense starting to get in rhythm.
Ford already 10 for 13 for 81 yards through the air. This time they'll go back to the ground to Fredericks. Brought down just shy of the chains. That's going to be third down as Vildor gets credited with the tackle.
A good stop by Kendall Vildor, the junior from College Park, Georgia, was able to meet the running back in time, stop him in the backfield.
Third down and 2 for UMass. Trying to keep this going. This has been the best looking drive of the day for them as we approach the end of the first half. And they will huddle now for the first time this drive.
Expect possibly a play action from UMass after they have been passing a lot here on this drive, but they could show a run, fake it, and find a guy on a rollout.
Isabella lined up to the bottom of your screen as the wide receiver. They'll put him in motion on play action. What a great haul in by Jesse Britt, their best possession receiver. He's got a first down inside the 5-yard line. He had 5 catches for 26 yards last week against Boston College in that loss. And what a great time for his first catch of the day.
There's the rollout by the lefty. Ford was able to find Britt tailing towards the sideline.
UMass trying to tie this game before halftime. Ford, plenty of time. It's Fredericks looking for the pylon. He dives for the end zone. The referee says he was right around the 1-yard line. He's down inside the 1, no touchdown.
Great wide receiver screen from UMass. You saw the other receiver go ahead trying to get Monquavian Brinson and Jay Baldry out of the way.
UMass trying to tie this game. And Fredericks will help him nearly do it. He's into the end zone, and UMass has their first touchdown of the day. It's 10-9.
Lengthy drive from UMass. They're finally on the board after their very first drive. They were held to just a field goal.
All right, so UMass sets out to get on the board for the first time on the ground, and they're able to there. What a great drive that was. Long drive, sustained, gave their defense some time, and really set the rhythm through the air.
And also that play was off a no huddle. They took advantage quickly after the wide receiver screen.
The PAT is up and good, and with 2:18 to go in the first half, we got ourselves a tie game in Statesboro. We'll take a break and see the finale of the first half right after this on ESPN+. Well, these fans might not be old enough to remember the fact that these two teams met each other in the 1998 D1AA National Championship. Based on the math, I would say that's probably true, Danny, but as we get ready to end the first half here in Statesboro, we've got another competitive game between these two schools that know each other very well historically.
Absolutely. This is the 4th all-time matchup between these two teams. UMass leads the all-time series 2-1 with the victory from last season.
So the Minutemen just tied the game a minute ago. Kennedy back to receive for Southern from the 5-yard line. And here comes the former Benedictine cadet out of Savannah. Run out of bounds at the 25-yard line. And now we will see Georgia Southern's offense for what is likely the final drive of the first half. Danny, their best success today has come from running the ball to Monteo Garrett and Wesley Fields.
Yes, these two have been more involved this week compared to last weekend's home opener against South Carolina State. Wesley Fields already with 64 yards, Monteo Garrett with 46.
Eagles have thrown the ball decently well, 2 for 4 for 44 yards and a touchdown. In case you're just joining us, that touchdown was from Shai Werts to Cam Brown, the tight end. So the Eagles begin their 2-minute offense as Fields takes the carry, bounces forward for a gain of about 2 yards, and not much doing that time, Danny.
Yeah, the Eagles only showed one wide receiver on that play, so UMass stacking up the box on the inside, showed 5 up front, and was able to stop Wesley Fields for only about 2 yards.
But we should mention that compared to last week, certainly the offensive line has done a better job opening up holes on the A and B games.
Yes, you're seeing more runs up the middle and more yards up the middle.
Clock running on second down. They'll go back to Fields, and nothing doing as the defense is once again there to swallow him whole. And that'll bring up third down.
You saw 3 UMass
Timeout.
defenders jam
UMass.
the inside, preventing Fields to gain any yards.
Timeout.
Got no gain, and I believe a timeout was called.
It was by South Carolina State to stop the clock. What's about Georgia Southern?
It will be a timeout.
It was taken by UMass. That's what we thought. Okay, so it's a 10-10 ball game here. 1:31 to go. And Danny, we've had a pretty good day of football here at Georgia Southern, but also around the Sun Belt Conference. We've got a couple good games going on so far.
Yeah, it's been an even matchup so far here this evening, and great play across the Sun Belt Conference. Appalachian State with their home opener after almost upsetting Penn State last week. Georgia State unsuccessful in Raleigh, North Carolina against NC State. Arkansas State taking on #1 Alabama.
Yeah, not so lucky in their game, though. All right, third down as Southern retakes the field. Shai will tuck it and run, and he'll get the first down. Only 2 Minutemen to beat. He slides across the 45. That'll momentarily stop the clock and get Southern closer to the 50-yard line.
Good job by the offensive line for the Eagles, leaving space for Shai Werts to run up the middle. Had a big gain. Eagles getting closer and closer to the red zone.
First down and 10 to go. Werts will look to throw. Again, comes to the near side. That would have been the third time he's targeted Cam Brown today, but it falls incomplete. Danny, I'll say, interesting to see them continue to target Brown. He really didn't get any looks last week.
Well, Brown, after getting a touchdown, that increased his confidence, so they decided to go to him a little bit more. Make him a threat to this offense to create other options on the field.
What kind of threat does he bring to this offense that doesn't usually pass to tight ends?
Well, he's also a good blocker. He can do one of 2 things for the Eagles.
Second and 10. Shai looks to throw. And the pocket collapses around him. He's dropped for a sack and a loss of 1. And that takes us down inside 1 minute. And Georgia Southern will burn another timeout. That'll take them down to 1 remaining in the half.
And as you talk about Cam Brown, he had plenty of space going through the middle, but Shai Werts didn't see him.
So Shai Werts commanding this offense for Georgia Southern as it does take it down inside a minute. And Shai's been good today, but man, Danny, was he unbelievable last week against South Carolina State.
Yeah, just look at those numbers right there. 22 carries, 163 yards compared to the rest of the team. The combined efforts of Monteo Garrett, Wesley Fields, Logan Wright. And also we got to see Matt LaRoche as well, another redshirt freshman for Georgia Southern. But it just shows how effective Shai Werts was in the first game of the year. His confidence has improved over the last couple of weeks. He's understood the offense a lot better from the spring, now in the fall. And he's developing to be a better quarterback each and every day.
Today, though, 2 for 5 passing. And he'll look to go 3 for 6. Werts uncorks one down the side of the field for Kennedy. He's got a first down to the 31-yard line. And that's his second catch of the day, the former Benedictine cadet out of Savannah.
Kennedy had 2 men on him as he was running towards the sideline. And Shai Werts threw it to a spot where only Kennedy could get it. There
Got rid of that ball just in time, man. And Wesley Kennedy, Mr. Versatile. Only 48 seconds left for Southern to put one in the end zone or through the field goal. Shai will throw over the middle. Again to Kennedy. He's down inside the 5-yard line. And Georgia Southern is once again knocking on the door before the end of the first half.
And this time you had multiple receivers on the outside, leaving plenty of space in the middle. Kennedy, if he was able to stay on his feet, that would have been a Georgia Southern touchdown.
Timeout, UMass. Second charge timeout of the half.
And UMass will burn a
30-second
timeout. They'll be down to one remaining. And Wesley Kennedy, we talked about him last week. We'll talk about him again here. Mr. Versatile, the true sophomore out of Benedictine Military School in Savannah. Danny, what makes him such a unique, diverse weapon?
Well, the fact that he's able to make guys miss when he's in space, he's going to have a lot of playing time this season, a bigger role compared to last year. He's on the kick return team, the punt return team, and you see right there where all the other UMass defenders are looking at the other receivers and the running backs, Wesley Kennedy will surprise you out of nowhere and make big plays, as you saw just now.
So the Eagles had 10 unanswered points. UMass just put one touchdown on the board with about 2:15 left to go, and now Georgia Southern looks to take the lead, headed into halftime at home against a team that demolished them last year as they look for revenge. Wirtz will keep it and take it into the end zone and give Southern the lead right before halftime. It's 16-10 Southern.
With 4 wide receivers on that play, you spread out the defense for UMass, leaving plenty of open air in the middle, and Wirtz was able to bang it up in the hole for the Georgia Southern touchdown.
So Shai Wirtz goes about 100 yards passing now on the night, and that run puts him about 50 yards rushing as well, and gives him the go-ahead touchdown with 35 to play in the half. The PAT from Bass is good, and what momentum has returned to Paulson here, Danny.
And that's a 2-minute drill right there by Chad Lunsford, able to get the offense down the field and with the lead before halftime. And remember, Greg, they deferred to start the game, so they will get the ball to start the second half.
Danny, all offseason, Chad Lunsford was talking to us, to his players, to the fans, about the power of Paulson. Looks like Shai Wirtz is feeling it today.
Yeah, absolutely. He's once again having a very effective game. This time better on the passing. Like you said, Greg, 4 for 7, 97 yards, and the touchdown to Cam Brown. You're seeing Brown more involved because I don't know if you noticed, Greg, Ellis Richardson, the senior, the starting tight end, not fully dressed for tonight's contest.
Yeah.
So Cam Brown has been more involved in the offense here today.
So UMass short on time, 35 seconds, so I imagine we'll see Andrew Ford to quarterback them and try to move him down into field goal range. But we'll see Bass put it in the air first. Great kick that time. Young will not bring it out, so they'll take it from the 20-yard line. And Danny, I'll say this though, Andrew Ford has done a terrific job of moving the ball down the field for UMass. He's been mighty efficient, 12 for 15 through the air, about 100 yards. If you want to put him into field goal range, he'd be your best choice at quarterback here, I think.
Yeah, and the Georgia Southern defense cannot let up. Just because there's only 35 seconds left to go in the half doesn't mean UMass is going to take it easy. You would expect Ford to throw it downfield. They have a timeout left, so they can get it about 30, 40 yards and get in the field goal range. That'll be a successful drive going into halftime. Or maybe I was mistaken.
They will just take a knee and head back into the field house here, and that will be the end of the first half at Georgia Southern. These two teams were thought to be pretty darn equal, and that is what we have seen so far tonight at Paulson Stadium. At the break, Georgia Southern 17, UMass 10. Fans, we're just getting started with our coverage tonight here on ESPN Plus. Coming up after the commercial break here at halftime, we've got a couple great stories. First off, about Ellis Richardson, the Georgia Southern star tight end.
That's the end of the first half. Timeout.
Ellis Richardson, redshirt senior, tight end. I'm originally from Georgia, Douglas County. Growing up, I think everybody wants to play in the NFL, and that's been my goal since I first started playing. And I've just stuck with it, even though it's been a long journey. I've just always stuck with it. I started out playing quarterback around 6th grade because nobody else could throw the ball, and I just stuck with it all the way until I got here. Leaving Alabama State, it was between South Carolina or a school in state, so I could pay for like tuition and things like that, because I know I had to walk on at least the first year to earn a scholarship. And Georgia Southern was the first place I stopped. I didn't know who the head coach was. I just knew they were winning and triple option, things like that. And when I got here, the tradition sold me. Just being down here where everybody takes pride in the football program and things like that, it just makes it that much more special. Playing a new position at a new school for the first time, it was had to get used to it. First couple of games, it took me a while to get used to it, all the blocking and things like that. My year sitting out, I was still playing quarterback for scout team, so I was going against all first team defense, things like that. But I didn't make the switch until spring of last year. It wasn't too challenging because at quarterback you got to know what everybody's doing, things like that. And playing just another position, you don't have to think as much. You just do your job. But as far as playing tight end in our offense, just learning how to block, things like that, being physical, coming from quarterback, I think catching was natural to me. Coming into it, Coach Lonsford was my position coach before he got promoted to the head coach. So I already knew what type of guy he was. Him making the switch to head coach, it really didn't change anything for me because I was already playing that way, but it changed for a lot of people. We just play a lot more freely, things like that, when we're not scared to make a mistake. Coach Lonsford tells us every week is we're 1-0, try to be 1-0 each week and not focus on things too far ahead. The energy and the love he has for Georgia Southern, I think he's the perfect guy for the job, and he's everything Georgia Southern football is supposed to be. We're just glad to play for a coach who's for us.
Nicoletta, talk about being an athlete and a scholar and the balance between athletics and scholarship.
So far, it's been super fun and busy. The most important thing, I think, is time management and making time for school and sports. And when you're not at both of those, just give time for yourself to recoup and get back into it.
You're a volleyball player. What motivates you to play your best for Georgia Southern?
I just want to live up to Georgia Southern and give back to the school because I know everyone here loves it so much and we just want to be the best.
You live the values of Georgia Southern athletics. Could you talk about your family and how you support your sister with those values?
My family, well, my brother and my sister and I, we're all 1 year apart and we've grown up very close together. When it comes to sports, school, we've always been right there with each other. And my sister was actually born completely blind, so it's been a special experience for me, just learning and growing up with her. I bring some of those into volleyball, I think. Her mental toughness, it just inspires me in the gym, and the way she overcomes her disability just makes me want to be better at practice every day.
Talk about how it feels to be part of this team, and why it's exciting for you to be here and part of this team.
It's been super exciting so far. We always have a competitive atmosphere, but then outside of the gym, we're also very close. We just bring great energy, and I'm excited to see what happens.
What's exciting for people looking on the outside of the program, if they wanted to come here and be a part of the program, what's exciting about it?
I think the biggest difference from last year they were even talking about is the competitiveness and just the grit that we're bringing this year. It's amazing. It's fun playing with each other. We just love the energy that's in the gym and the enthusiasm. It's just amazing.
Set up a
Welcome back to our live coverage of UMass at Georgia Southern on ESPN Plus. And at home, if you're thinking, well, this is a darn well-produced broadcast. Well, Danny, tell them a little bit more about the unit that puts this together.
Well, it's all about the Georgia Southern Multimedia Development Center. They take care of every Georgia Southern home event, from football, basketball, baseball, and just about every other sport. Also do auxiliary productions, and they've won multiple Emmy Awards, as you see the big one in the middle. A great opportunity for students here on campus to get live video production experience.
So students and professionals alike working on live broadcasts like this one you are watching on ESPN Plus. They do a great job, and we are so happy you are here. And let's take a look at some of the video they're able to put together here with our first half highlights. Danny, as Southern struck with the first touchdown of the game. It was Shy Wirtz to Cam Brown.
Cam Brown getting involved early in the game for the Eagles, and then UMass able to answer back with a run up the middle.
Jordan Fredericks, the former Syracuse running back, doing that. And then Southern running the 2-minute offense as Shy Wirtz connected with the former Benedictine cadet out of Savannah, Wesley Kennedy, and then Shy punched it in himself.
And Wirtz has done a great job in this game, doing it better in the air passing wise. 97 passing yards so far in the first half, along with a couple of rushing yards and a touchdown.
So let's go ahead and take a look at our first half stats now that we've got the first half hour of football in the books. No surprising to see Georgia Southern severely outgaining UMass on the ground, 168 yards, but no surprise to see UMass outdueling Southern through the air, 123-97. And Danny, I don't know about you, but it seems to me like that this would have been basically a tie game. It's just that Southern got the ball last.
Yeah, it's been an even matchup, and also, not to mention, Greg, Georgia Southern gets the ball first to start the third quarter, so they may be able to make this a 2-score lead when we start the third.
And that will be coming up in just a matter of minutes. A very close, very hard-fought game so far here on ESPN Plus. The second half is coming up in just minutes right here. A humid but enjoyable evening tonight in the Nat capital of America. Georgia Southern on top of UMass 17-10, and a long-standing former FCS rivalry. Both teams now into the College Football Bowl subdivision. And at the break, Georgia Southern on top 17-10. Dana, let's go ahead and take a look at the Sun Belt Conference standings after week one. Georgia Southern, of course, beat South Carolina State, and we've had a couple other good games in the Sun Belt around the league today.
Yeah, absolutely. Arkansas State taking on number 1 Alabama. NC State taking on Georgia State. Troy currently up 14-0 on Florida A&M. Texas State with a field goal lead over Texas Southern. South Alabama and Oklahoma State will start at 8 p.m. Coastal Carolina down a touchdown, 14-7 to UAB. Louisiana Monroe, 13-7 lead over Southern Miss. App State on the road in Charlotte, 24-9 at halftime. And of course, the game here in Statesboro, Georgia Southern trying to hold on to their 17-10 lead.
So I would say no big surprises so far looking at those scores.
Not yet.
Garcia to put this one in the air for UMass to begin the second half. Got a good leg into that one. Kennedy from inside the 5-yard line for Georgia Southern. He's nearly broken a couple already this year. This time he's swallowed up just past the 20-yard line up to the 23, and that's where the Eagles will begin the second half.
The big question for the second half for both teams, for Georgia Southern, they got to keep the ball rolling, take time off the clock. And for UMass, they've gone for a lot of short plays in the first half. They have to step it up, throw the ball downfield, go north-south instead of east-west if they want to tie it up or take the lead over the Eagles.
So the first quarter and the beginning of the second quarter, so much success for Georgia Southern on the ground. Wesley Fields, 67 yards. Monteo Garrett, 45 yards. At the end of the second quarter, they moved the ball very well through the air. And begin the second half, they'll go back to the ground as Shy Wirtz will keep it himself. On the option, up to the 33-yard line. I believe he came up just a yard short of the first down as Tyler Hayes made the tackle.
And Dante Lindsey, the cornerback, freshman from Fayetteville, North Carolina for UMass, has a tough job on the outside, trying to keep an eye on Shy Wirtz to make sure he's not going to pitch it back to the running back.
Shy just crossed the plane. They will give him the first down, and that'll move the chains. So Wirtz here entering the second half of play, now over 60 yards rushing on the night. Had over 130 last week on the ground against South Carolina State. Goes up the middle this time on the handoff. It's Wesley Fields just a yard short. That'll bring up second down as Norwood makes the tackle. That's his third of the night.
The thing about the option offense for Georgia Southern, wherever the running back goes, the offensive line has to block the opposite direction. There you see the O-line doing a great job on the left side, mainly Jeremiah Colbert and Aaron Dowdell, pushing defenders over and leaving room for Wesley Fields around the middle.
And Wesley now 75 yards rushing on the night. Not bad for only his second game back from a shoulder surgery recently. And this is Wes Kennedy. And he's got the first down for Georgia Southern across the 45-yard line. And Danny, we've seen him take pitches. We've seen him make 2 deep catches. He's returning kicks just like last week against the Bulldogs. He's been absolutely everywhere.
As I said earlier, he's a legitimate X factor, and he's going to be everywhere. He is a guy that can get you all-purpose yards and to get you in the right position.
We've seen a couple new formations and sets for Georgia Southern already on this opening drive of the third quarter. Words on the keeper, pitches to Monteo Garrett. That's the second time this year he's tried one of those up and over huddles. He's across the 45-yard line before Flanagan brings him down. That should be second and about a yard to go.
And with the linebackers playing back, not showing blitz, it's tough for them to read where the Eagles are going to run the ball. This time, Garrett had plenty of space on the outside, just short of the first down.
Ransom split out to the top of the formation. Obi Fortune at the bottom. No surprise, they'll go back to the ground on second and short, and Fields picks up the first down.
UMass usually running a 4-3 defense, and they've kind of ran it a little bit differently with their defensive ends. Usually you can have all 4 defensive linemen down in a 3-point stance, but you have the 2 defensive ends playing out, trying to put pressure on the offensive line.
And with that last rush, the Georgia Southern offense already over 200 yards on the ground tonight.
A different story for UMass after the record-setting performance they had last season against the Eagles.
On first down, the pitch to Garrett. Punched out of bounds that time for about 3 yards. I would say, Danny, we are seeing more of Monteo Garrett tonight than we did last week.
You're also seeing the UMass defense able to combat these intriguing offensive sets for Georgia Southern. Once again, you saw having 3 running backs, 2 to each side, 1 to each side of Shy Wertz and 1 behind him.
Yeah, we have seen head coach Chad Lunsford and offensive coordinator Bob DeBess really mixing things up here to begin the third quarter. Now we have 2 of the backup running backs. This is the give to Matt LaRoche. He was great last week, and I believe he came up just a yard short of the first down there. But, Danny, we saw on Twitter after the game, people were saying he looks like a young Matt Breida.
Yeah, he's got a lot. He's got great potential and a lot in store for this season, and he's got the same number 36.
What is it that reminds folks outside of the number? Was it the way he hits the hole with speed? What is it?
It's the mix of speed and power, the way he's able to pound his way through the defensive line and then that burst of speed. There's a reason why they call Matt Breida Mr. He Gone.
3rd and 4. It's Fields. And he's short. That'll bring up 4th down. And by the way, if you're not a Georgia Southern fan watching this game saying, who's Matt Breida? Well, not a bad thing to be compared to Matt Breida. He'll be playing against the Vikings for the San Francisco 49ers tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting time tomorrow, week 1 of the NFL season. Some Georgia Southern fans are a little bit upset considering that Jared McKinnon, who also with the 49ers, tear his ACL in the last practice before the first game of the season.
This is about a 50-yard kick for Tyler Bass. And Georgia Southern will call a timeout to decide what it is they want to do.
Well, when we spoke to Chad Lunsford this week heading into the game, he said that they know that they're going to go for it on 4th down way ahead of time. So maybe Chad Lunsford wants to talk to his team and maybe think about going for it on 4th down instead of going for the field goal. 4th down in just 3 yards. You can try to go for a hard count, get the defensive line to jump, get a penalty, get a first down that way. Or you can see them run it up the middle or toss it outside.
Chad Lunsford's offense has already gone for it twice tonight on 4th down, but they'll send the kicking unit back out. So Tyler Bass lining up for what will be a 50-yard attempt. This would make it a 2-score game for Georgia Southern at home on top of UMass. UMass didn't get close to blocking it, and it flies through the uprights. Georgia Southern takes a 20-10 lead on the Minutemen, and Tyler Bass boots it in from 50 yards out here at Paulson Stadium. Time for UMass to make a run back at it. They get the ball back after this. Two field goals for Georgia Southern, one for UMass. This last one from 50+ from Tyler Bass gives the Eagles a 20-10 lead. And Danny, they've been able to rely on him, but really their entire special teams unit all night for good productivity.
Absolutely. And Tyler Bass last season was 15 of 19 for field goals, and the longest field goal he kicked was a 48-yarder against Georgia State. So this is a new personal best for Bass with the 50-yard field goal to put the Eagles up by 10.
And you saw him kind of with a sly smile on his face when Chad Lunsford came up to him during the break. He knew he knocked that one right through.
Oh yeah, right down the middle. He's
All
done
right,
a great job.
So UMass now down 10 points. It's a 2-score game here on the road for them, as Bass puts it in the air. They'll let one go out of the back of the end zone. But here's the thing for UMass, Danny. Their last drive toward the end of the first half was the best we had seen all night. Andrew Ford was really remarkable the way he was moving the ball down the field and spreading it out to all his different wide receivers. I'm convinced that if UMass had more time to end the first half, we would actually have had a tie game. So the question is, can they keep that momentum going to begin the third quarter?
There's a good chance that they can, Greg. They have to stay with the same momentum and consistency on this drive and expect Andrew Ford to throw the ball more downfield if they want to get back in this game.
And they will bring out Ford to quarterback this team. We've only seen the other quarterback, Ross Comas, for one drive tonight. And on first down, Ford's going to uncork one down the middle of the field into double coverage. It's off the hands of Brandon Dingle, and that falls incomplete.
That was almost a completion by Dingle, double teamed by two Georgia Southern defenders, both Sean Freeman and Josh Moon, the safeties.
Yeah, they targeted Dingle a lot last week, made 4 catches against Boston College. That was the second time they've targeted him tonight. And the Minutemen will go empty for Ford. And we have flags coming in.
Ball start. Offense. 5-yard
That'll
penalty.
push UMass back.
Second down.
And already you see UMass going more pass heavy. That previous play before the false start, a 5 wideout set.
I think we're going to get to the point in this game now that they're down more than 1 touchdown, and that they might just begin to abandon all pretense of a significant rushing attack, although Marquise Young had done pretty well for them on the ground so far tonight. Fredericks had as well. He's the one who scored their touchdown on the ground, but yeah, no kidding. They have done much better tonight going through the air, which no surprise if you know this team. Pressure coming for Ford, delivers it over the middle. That's a complete pass. That's Taylor Edwards, third time he's hauled that one in tonight. That'll bring up second down.
Edwards has been more of the #1 target tonight compared to Andy Isabella, the guy we featured at the top of the broadcast. Edwards.
It's pretty surprising. I mean, Isabella has 5 catches, but they've targeted Edwards a ton. As on third down, there's our boy Andy Isabella. He turns upfield, gets across the 45. He's got a first down for UMass. And that is his 6th catch of the night.
Already 6 catches, and he's been targeted a lot. Don't be surprised if you see his name be called on draft night in April.
He's already been contacted. Well, actually, people who have coached him have been contacted about him by Cleveland. Although, just look at him. He looks like a prototypical slot wide receiver for New England. So the Patriots would be pleased to keep him in the backyard. They throw far side. That's to Avian Pea, a 6'2" redshirt sophomore tight end, pushed out of bounds by Monquavian Brinson.
Well, UMass are going to have those NFL contacts because head coach Mark Whipple, after he left UMass in 2003, he was the quarterbacks coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Coach Ben Roethlisberger when they won a Super Bowl in 06. Also had tenure with the Philadelphia Eagles and the Cleveland Browns.
2nd and 4. Up the middle they go, and a brutal hit delivered that time to Marquise Young. And it looked like he might have come up just a yard short as Rashad Bird just pounded him into the turf. And he did come up short. 3rd down and a long 1 yard to go.
Player down for UMass. He hit his head hard going down on the ground after the tackle by Bird.
Previous plays under further review for potential targeting.
And then now they're going to review the play to see if there's any targeting.
And this will be the 2nd time tonight they've reviewed a play for targeting. The first time they decided it was not targeting. That's the running back, Marquise Young. He got absolutely hammered. And the referees will take a review here.
And the first targeting call was on defensive end Leon Flanagan Jr.
And they called it back, though.
Yes, it was overturned. So Georgia Southern hopes for the same results. Here you see the play. And I don't think that was targeting. I think that was just a clean hit by Rashad Bird that may have knocked the wind out of Marquise Young.
Let's take another look. Well, see, I would say that was Young lowering his helmet on that play.
Well, looking at it from that angle.
45 for the defense was targeting. It's a 15-yard penalty. Number 45 is disqualified.
And it's confirmed that
Automatic
Bird is done for the night. He'll head to the showers early. Looking from it from that angle, Greg, I can understand why it was a targeting call because he leaned in with his head. It was a helmet straight on the helmet on the tackle. Here you see from this angle, you'll see how Bird went into that play.
Well, the fans here at Paulson Stadium outraged. I'm sure you can hear the boos back at home. But Georgia Southern now losing a guy in their linebacker, Rashad Bird, who Danny had really been making an outsized impact at the linebacker position tonight. He'd kind of been everywhere flying over the field.
Yeah, he set the tone early in the first quarter. And now Chris Harris Jr., the backup linebacker, will come in to take his place.
Yeah, he'd already made 3 tackles today. So a new first down for UMass as Bird is out of the game. Ford looks to throw as the pocket collapses. Chase down from behind. He let that one go. But put it out of the reach of Jay Boundary. That'll bring up second down.
And you saw the pressure from the Eagle defense moving in on the left side, forcing Ford to roll out. But still looking. As you see there on the rush. The receiver's foot was out of bounds, so it's an incomplete pass.
It was going for Edwards again. That'll bring up second down. UMass trying to make this a 1-score game. Ford another short pass. He goes back to Edwards yet again, but that time a short gain on the play as Brinson was right there for the quick takedown with good closing speed.
And now with third down and about 6 to go, you could see UMass go for another short pass, or they could run it. They ran multiple passing plays to start this drive.
Brent split at the top of your screen. Andy Isabella, their leading receiver in the top slot. It's third down and 6 for the Minutemen. This is a crucial down. He's looking for Isabella, throws the ball behind Britt. And what a great play on defense by Monquavian Brinson. Danny, he was on him like feathers on a bird.
Yeah, Brinson with a great job there. Ford, if he would have waited 1 or 2 more seconds, he may have gotten a successful pass off. We saw both receivers on the right side going for an in route. But with the first man, the inside slot receiver going in, that takes pressure and moves away a couple of defenders.
So UMass will bring out their special teams unit, try to make this a 7-point game at least. This is Mike Caggiano. This is a 42-yarder. That one is right through, and although UMass does not come away with a touchdown to respond, they've at least got back to a 7-point game. But Georgia Southern will get it back midway through the third right after this quick break on ESPN+. From the prettiest little stadium in America, you're watching Sun Belt Conference football on ESPN+. Alongside Danny Waugh, I'm Greg Talbot. Thank you so much for spending your Saturday night with us as Georgia Southern leads UMass 20-13. And Danny, these teams know each other well. They have over the years, and it looks like we're set up for another close finish tonight. Yeah, this is going to be a great game. This will probably go down to the final play in the fourth quarter. Georgia Southern doing a great job limiting UMass after they put up 60-plus points on Duquesne in their first game. They even put 21 points up against Boston College Power 5 team. So this is Mike Caggiano to kick it away for UMass. And Wesley Kennedy back to receive for Southern inside the 10-yard line. He's nearly broken a couple already this season, and it looks like he's able to get up for another good return here across the 30-yard line. And Wesley Kennedy has such quick speed, sometimes it's hard for him to keep up himself. Tripped up towards the end of that run. You see he had plenty of space up the middle and went down right before meeting two UMass defenders. And in case you're just joining us, Kennedy has already made 3 catches. He's already taken a pitch, and he's been all over the field running back kicks and punts. He's been Mr. Versatile once again for Georgia Southern. So a new first down. They'll take this from their 30-yard line. And they'll start the drive on a play-action pass. Swartz under pressure over the middle of the field. And it's hauled in by Malik Murray. It's his first catch in college for Georgia Southern. What a great way to start, Danny. You have to give credit to the offensive line for giving Shy Wirtz plenty of time to get the ball down the field. Now, he had his running back on the flat route, but found Murray downfield, the registered sophomore from Duluth, Georgia, making an incredible catch for his first at Georgia Southern. Great moment for it, too. So new first down, they're moving quickly. And it's the give to Monteo Garrett as he tries to find the hole along the outside, but what a great tackle by the UMass defense that time. It was Jake Bizko that'll bring up 2nd and long.
No gain, means 2nd down, 2 yards to go from the 30-yard line.
And Garrett will come off the field so far tonight, about 60 yards rushing. Leading rusher on the night, no surprise. Wesley Fields over 80 yards on 14 carries. Southern's 2 touchdowns, a Shy Wirtz keeper and a Shy Wirtz pass to Cam Brown. On second, Shy will keep it himself. He's got 1 block. Nice job inside the 20, and that'll be a first down. And once again, great job by the left tackle and left guard, pushing those defenders away for Shy Wirtz to run up the middle. Also give credit to Lawrence Edwards and Brian Miller on the right side. So the Eagles now inside the UMass red zone. They've come away with points 2 out of 3 times. The one time they did it was on the first drive of the game, where they went for it on 4th down inside the 5 and did not convert. And on the new first down, flags coming in as they sent Murray in motion.
Right of the snap. False start. Offense. Number 51. 5 penalty.
That's going to be on the left guard. Aaron Dowdell jumping before the snap.
And Dowdell, Danny, a guy that's had some movement in and out of the starting lineup already this season.
Yeah, Dowdell has been a great addition for Georgia Southern, a transfer from Georgia Military College. He said that he's very quick on his feet, but a little bit too quick on that play, causing the Eagles to go back 5 yards.
So it'll be 1st and 15. This UMass defense has been great pretty much everywhere outside of their own red zone tonight. And the pitch to Monteo Garrett. He's around the corner. Down toward the 16-yard line. That'll bring up 2nd down and about 8 yards to go. and they've been utilizing a much more back-and-forth approach between him and Wesley Fields tonight, Danny. It's really been 1-2.
Yeah, they have been really involved in this game compared to last week. And UMass did a great job on the defensive side. They show blitz, but they blitz on the wrong end, going on the right side where Garrett ran left and was able to get about a yard.
All right, so call it 2nd down and 9 for Southern. Wirtz will look to throw again. Over the middle, touchdown, Georgia Southern. It's Colby Ransom from Stone Mountain, Georgia. And Georgia Southern doubles up UMass. It's 26-13.
You always have to worry about the slot receiver in a play-action pass because you got the running back Fields kind of leading a couple of UMass defenders, and then you forget about Ransom. He had plenty of space in the middle and was able to walk it in for the touchdown.
He had his first 2 catches of his college career last week against South Carolina State, and now his first touchdown against the Minutemen. Bass puts it through. The Georgia Southern offense is rolling. It's 27-13 in Statesboro. And now UMass is against the ropes. Their offense comes back out trying to move the ball down the field. Right after this on ESPN3, it's a good one. It's not over yet, but Georgia Southern scores again, 27-13 now. And Danny, I'd say Chad Lunsford's got to be a happy man.
Yeah, it was all seriousness in the beginning of the game, but you saw a couple of smiles crack on his face later as the game went on. He has to be definitely pleased by how his team has played in this game.
Tyler Bass has been unbelievably effective tonight for Georgia Southern. He kicks it away. Can't imagine UMass will take this one too far back. Here's a Young taken down inside the 20-yard line. All right, Danny, so not out of time yet, but Georgia Southern has now doubled up UMass. The Minutemen moved the ball pretty darn well on their first drive of the second half, but only came away with a touchdown. And what we know about Georgia Southern is that when they're in the lead, their style of offense, they're running, they milk the clock. So if UMass wants to make a comeback, it's got to start pretty soon.
And Georgia Southern's done a great job on running out the clock so far in this game, being a dominant running team. They have drives that go for about 6, 7, 8 minutes long when they're effective.
On first down, Ford hands off to Young. Up toward the 30-yard line, maybe 1 or 2 yards short as Jay Boundary came in and made the tackle. That'll bring up second down, and Danny, listen to this crowd roar.
Yeah, they have come alive here. They love going back and forth with Georgia and Southern, and that can really fatigue and put pressure on the away team.
Second down and just a yard as Ford will look to throw. Goes far side. He's got Andy Isabella for a first down and more. Gain of about 7 yards. Brinson couldn't quite tackle him that time.
And I believe if you're UMass, you want to stick with Ford for probably the rest of this game. Being a pocket passing quarterback, Ross Comas, we have not seen since the first half more of a dual threat passing and running.
Up the middle of Young. Gain of maybe 2 yards. Marquise Young has had a pretty decent night for UMass. Knowing that they don't run the ball that much, that was only their 16th carry of the night. But he does lead the team in rushing. Now that was his 8th carry. He's got over 30 yards. Second down and 8. Another bullet pass, and that one dropped by Andy Isabella. I don't see that very much, Danny.
You don't see that much at all. That would have been a clean catch and would have put the Minutemen in great field position. Had it, but bobbled out of his hand at the last second.
Isabella is known not only for his speed, Danny, but for his hands. We know NFL teams have asked about him, mainly because of his speed, but because he's also one of the best receivers in the history of UMass. One of 7 receivers who have come through the program with over 2,000 yards. That's an exclusive list that does not even feature Victor Cruz. Big down here on 3rd and 8. Ford facing pressure, goes to Isabella. Complete pass at the 40, or rather at the 46-yard line. If he didn't get it, he was only a yard short. Missed it by a half yard.
So now UMass has to make a tough decision here, whether they go for it
I think
on 4th and inches or you punt it away. But you got to go for it right here. If you're UMass, who knows when you'll get the ball back and with how much time left in the game.
Even if I feel like you have to go for it for UMass, and they will. They'll bring out Andrew Ford.
4th and inches. Georgia Southern defense has to stack up the inside of the box. And you see they have 5 men on the line.
Britt, the only wide receiver, split out. Up the middle, it's Young. I think he got it as he crossed the 46-yard line. But we'll hear from the referees. He fell forward. And it looks like UMass will move the chains.
And the blitz for Georgia Southern went one way, but the running back with the opposite direction was able to lean in for the first.
So UMass will keep this drive moving. That was their first 4th down attempt today, and it was successful. Ross Comas came in at quarterback. He fumbled the ball, and the Eagles have it. What a turnaround. Flags flying in, though. I believe that was after the play, Danny. That might be some extracurricular activity.
Yeah, it could be unsportsmanlike conduct on one of these teams. I don't know if it was a smart decision to bring in Ross Comas after UMass was driving here with Andrew Ford at quarterback.
Raymond Johnson III with the Gata chain. And that has got to just kill you, Danny, if you're the UMass coaching staff. You pick up the first down after a 4th down conversion and you give it right back.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense, number 47, pulling a player off the pile. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Offense, number 79.
That's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct on Randy Wade Jr., the Georgia Southern linebacker, the sophomore.
Unsportsmanlike foul for each player. The result of the play is first down, Georgia Southern.
Also, unsportsmanlike conduct on the Minutemen offense.
Yeah, so this will offset.
But nonetheless, the Eagles get the ball back. Great play made by the sophomore and Raymond Johnson III.
And the fact of the matter is right now, the Georgia Southern offense has been nearly unstoppable since late in the 2nd quarter. So this is a big series coming up for the UMass defense. Put a man in motion, they give the Fields, and nothing doing on that play as the defense read it just right.
Now the UMass defense has to step up here and prevent Georgia Southern from going on a lengthy drive. From where they're positioned, depending on the effectiveness of their plays, they can take off a couple of minutes.
So it'll be 2nd down and 11. And Raymond Johnson III, man. What a clutch fumble recovery. 2nd down and 11. Back to Fields. He's got a hole and a lot of green in front of him. Fields down to the 20-yard line and once again into the UMass red zone.
All he needs is one swift move. He's able to get a big gain. As you see here, good blocking by the offensive line, pushing the defense out of the way for Fields. Nice 20-plus yard gain.
And we have an injury timeout on the field on the far side for UMass, unfortunately.
I believe that is Isaiah Rogers, the junior from Tampa, Florida, that's down for the Minutemen.
And that was up near the part of the field where Wesley Fields was taken down, so you hope he didn't do that tackling him.
Trainers out there checking on him. Could be a lower leg injury. He's able to get up and he'll limp off the field.
So he's got a limp as he comes off. Good news is he is able to get up on his own accord. So Georgia Southern, though, keeps their offensive drive moving. Down to the 21-yard line. UMass changing the play up at the line of scrimmage on defense. Southern fumbles the ball. It looks like UMass fell on it. And they did, and what a break for the Minutemen. 2 fumbles in the span of just a couple of seconds. And Brighton Barr, the senior linebacker, fell on the ball.
Barr, one of the impact players we talked about, graduate student from Camp Hill, Pennsylvania. A slip up by Shai Wertz resulting in the fumble. Didn't get the snap off properly. And while we have a brief moment here, Greg, talking about Brighton Barr, he's a transfer from Townsend. This is his 7th year after he had a couple of years he had the red shirt due to injury. He missed.
Never graduate, right?
There's a couple of players that have the situation. One being Case Keenan, the quarterback for Houston a long time ago.
On first down, UMass with a second chance at life. Sprinting through the hole is Young. He's got a first down. He'll move the chains up toward the 35-yard line. And Danny, I'll tell you, he's been splitting carries all season with Jordan Fredericks and Bilal Ali. We are not seeing Ali tonight. We don't know why yet, but it doesn't really matter because Young has been hitting the hole.
Yeah, he's been doing a great job picking up the pace for UMass. And now for the Minutemen, can they capitalize off of this opportunity, getting the ball right back?
Ford looks to throw downfield. Complete pass and a first down. That'll move the chains. Went back to Dingle.
And you're seeing UMass quickly get passing plays down the field.
Yeah, this is when they are at their best, no doubt. Isabella in the near slot for UMass. Young again. The defense gave him an open sesame. He gives the defense a stiff arm, and he's down to the Southern 35 before Kendall Vildor got him down.
That's the end of the third quarter.
Great run. Had plenty of space. Was able to cut outside. Break a defender, getting past Josh Moon, and then getting past Kendall Vildor as well.
And that'll take us to the end of the third quarter. Georgia Southern's up a couple of touchdowns, but UMass is driving. The Minutemen look to mount the comeback of the year after this on ESPN+. Georgia Southern up on UMass, but the Minutemen, Danny, they don't want to stop believing. They get the ball back on a Southern mistake, and they'll keep their drive going as they try to close the gap here at Paulson Stadium.
They try to make it a one-score game here on this drive.
So Andrew Ford backing up the quarterback. The offense as Southern brings a blitz. They come down the near side. It's Andy Isabella, and it's knocked away.
You have 3 Eagles covering Isabella as he had a great opportunity to make a catch towards the end zone. Andrew Ford having plenty of time in the pocket, getting it out of hand right before Jordan Hunt was able to get to him. And I believe the ball bounced off of the helmet of Kendall Vildor, just about a foot shy of Isabella's hands.
And Vildor needs a little bit of help getting off the field. But I'll say this, Danny, I certainly credit UMass for knowing the best way they move the ball. It is with 5 or 6 yard passes and then stretching it down the field.
Well, expect them to go down the field a little bit more. Now it's the fourth quarter. You're running out of time. Georgia Southern will run the clock out if they have the ball.
On 2nd and 10. They'll give it back to Young, and the Eagles were not expecting rush, but the defense closes that gap quickly. And what a tackle by Georgia Southern to bring up 3rd down.
And that's Justin Birdsong, the true freshman from Lithonia, Georgia, stepping up when his number is called. Vildor had to be helped off the field really quick, so the freshman comes in. You got to be ready at all times, Greg, and he was able to make the tackle.
A crucial 3rd down and 8 to go here for the Minutemen. Expect the pass to Britt, Dingle, or Isabella, maybe Edwards. Those have been their 4 main guys tonight. Isabella's made 8 catches. Look for him here. He's in the top side slot. And they'll put him in motion, their leading receiver on the night. Ford will get the pass off to Britt, but flags came in from the near side. Southern is saying this is on the UMass offensive line, and it is. It's coming back.
Penalty, third down.
I believe that's going to be on the center, and Derek Dumais, the redshirt junior from Marblehead, Massachusetts. That's going to be costly for UMass because now 3rd and 13. They don't want to go for a field goal here, Greg. They want to try and get the first down and keep the drive moving.
The way Georgia Southern melts the clock when they're in the lead on offense, I think you really don't have a choice. This is a touchdown drive or nothing for UMass. Britt in motion. They'll go back to Britt and see what he can do in space. And he can do nothing in space. Monquavian breaks him in lane. Ecton took him down. And that'll bring him a long 4th.
And at this moment, if you're UMass, you have to go for it. You can't punt the ball and hope to get possession back.
And they're going to bring out a special teams unit.
Well, I stand corrected. I guess they're going to punt it away.
And now Wesley Fields back to receive for Georgia Southern. Not Wesley Kennedy. It's a real punt. It is sky high, and it is not very far to the 20-yard line. A great UMass bounce. And down inside the 10-yard line toward the 8. Interest call there. The question is, does UMass have enough time here if they stop the Eagles?
Well, the defense has to do a great job putting pressure on Georgia Southern. At this point, you have to assume they're going to run. So you have to load up 4 or 5 men, show blitz, and put pressure on the Eagle offense. A wise decision by the punter to go for a high punt to keep it in the air and within the confines instead of taking it out of bounds.
So Georgia Southern from inside their own 10-yard line here as they begin to melt the clock. It's a give to Monteo Garrett. He found his way through space. What a pickup and a first down from the senior out of Talladega, Alabama.
Well, it's going to be hard to stop the Eagle running game when you have guys like Monteo Garrett able to break out and make decent plays. And you got to give credit to the Eagle offensive line for making space up the middle.
Monteo just 30 yards on the ground last week against South Carolina State. Now to 75 tonight against the UMass defense. Out of the gun on the new first down. Wirtz on the keeper. Logan Wright served as an able-bodied fake there, but not a whole lot doing. Maybe a gain of 2 yards on the play as Mario Patton brought him down.
And a good job by Patton as well. He was able to stay back there, almost fell for the running back with the handoff, but was able to stay with Wirtz and make the tackle.
Yeah, pretty darn patient. Second down and 8 yards as we wind our way toward 11:30 to go. Up the middle to right. Across the 25-yard line. That'll bring up 3rd down and 5. And he's been pretty darn good today, Danny. The redshirt freshman out of Jacksonville, Florida. They call him the power running back of the future here at Georgia Southern. And he had a great bunch of luck last week. Not as much this week.
Yeah, good job by the UMass defensive line for reading that play. Was able to jam up the middle, preventing him from gaining a lot of yards.
3rd down and 6 to go. Got to get this play off, and they're going to call a timeout to make sure it's a manageable 3rd down still. Smart move, Danny, I would say, unless UMass makes an unbelievable timeout, you probably don't need him. That was a pretty good place to use it.
Yeah, it was able to run off some time off the clock.
We will take a break here on ESPN Plus. UMass, can the defense make a big stop? We'll find out after this. 10:44 to go here in the final quarter of play. Georgia Southern up on UMass, and the schedule does not get any easier here for the Eagles, Danny. They got Clemson next week on the road. Third down, a big down here for Georgia Southern. The run up they got is not going to do anything, and that'll bring up fourth down.
And the game against Clemson next Saturday may or may not still be in play, considering that Hurricane Florence will be making its way towards the North and South Carolina areas.
And as of this afternoon, all the meteorologists in Savannah have alerted us that the South Carolina State House has issued a state of emergency for the upcoming Hurricane Florence. So because this game is going to be played in South Carolina next week, who knows if we'll actually play it. Of course, the plan is still to play the game. Hopefully it turns north and back out to sea, Danny. Punches away. Fair catch. 33-34 line for Andy Isabella and UMass. All right. If it's going to start, it's going to start now for UMass, down 27-13 for the Eagles. And one of the interesting things about the UMass upcoming schedule, Danny, is they are one of very few independent schools in the country, so they've always got an interesting slate of games.
Yeah, Florida International next week, and then Charlotte back at home, then Ohio. They don't have a bye week until October 13th, so it's always interesting to see how some college football teams do in the first half of the season. We don't have a bye week till in the middle of the season.
All right, so UMass against the ropes here in the fourth quarter. Ford will roll on play action. He'll throw. That's complete pass to Sadiq Palmer, and he's got a first down. Second time they've targeted him tonight, but that is his first catch.
Palmer, the junior from Red Bank, New Jersey, did a great job getting out of bounds after the pass by Ford. Expect more passing plays towards the sidelines for UMass.
And that was his fourth catch of the season. Over the middle, they'll go back to Palmer. Rather, that's Andy Isabella, my mistake. Gildor on the tackle, another first down. And that is catch number 9 tonight for Isabella. Call that 85, or actually no, 90 yards for him now.
He had 10 catches for 227 yards and 2 touchdowns entering this game. Already almost doubling that total.
Up the middle of Fredericks. He's already got a touchdown on the ground. This time he'll pick up about 5 yards before the scrum stops him. And that'll bring up second down. But you got to imagine, Danny, even when they run, they're not going to take a whole lot of time to huddle because time is not on their side when the Eagles get the ball back.
Yeah, and for a moment there, Tamarcio Reese had to calm himself down. He was about a second or two away from an unsportsmanlike conduct call. You got to stay composed here late in the game.
UMass will run the Wildcat formation. Here comes Young, trying to stay on his feet, and he barely gets back to the line of scrimmage before C.J. Wright gets to him. That'll bring up third down, and late flags coming in.
Wright did a good job staying with the running back throughout that Wildcat formation. I believe it'll be no gain. We'll see what the call is by the referee.
After the play, personal foul, defense number 57. 15-yard penalty. Correction, it's offense number 57. 15-yard penalty, third down.
So it turned to jeers, now cheers from the Georgia Southern fans as they thought it was on the defense, but instead it's on Ray Thomas Ishman, senior left tackle for the Minutemen.
So what was going to be a new first down inside the Eagle 30-yard line now turns into third down and 20 for UMass.
You got to go downfield. Can't go for any runs at the middle, no draw plays. You got to look deep.
They'll run a draw play, and nothing doing for Jordan Fredericks. Fourth down and Savannah to go.
And if you're UMass at this point, there's 8 minutes and counting. I don't understand why you're bringing out the punt team. You got to go for it. You're down by 2 scores. You got lucky on the previous defensive series. At this point, Georgia Southern could have the ball for the rest of the game.
Yeah,
Just run the clock out.
I'm a little confused, too, as Georgiopolis comes to kick it away for UMass. Another high kick, second time in a row. He's done that well. Out of bounds around the 20-yard line. And we will take a break here on ESPN Plus as Georgia Southern looks to note the clock on this next drive and begin to put the nail in the coffin. But we'll see if the UMass defense can come up big. Eagle Nation is happy in Statesboro. Georgia Southern gets the ball back, leading 27-13 with good field position just past their own 30-yard line with 7:31 left to go in this home contest as the Eagles look to get to 2-0 on the season. Wirtz will keep it on the option. He picks up a first down as he gets shoved out of bounds at the 42-yard line by Bakari Goodson.
And going back to the previous UMass offensive possession on third down, I said that they should have passed the ball instead of going for a draw play. And, you know, Georgia Southern, knowing how they can run out the clock, this may be the final possession we see.
Shai Wirtz has had an unbelievably complete game tonight. Now over 80 yards on the ground and 150 yards through the air. Half a yard short, 2nd and 1. They give to Fields. And Wesley will pick up the first down as he stays on his feet to the 50-yard line before Brian Roberts Jr. and the scrum are able to finally get the referees to blow the whistle down to the 46. And here's why this is pretty surprising, Danny. Because last week against South Carolina State, Shai Wirtz didn't have to throw much. He only threw 7 passes, completed 5 for 30 yards. Tonight, 155 through the air.
And also 2 touchdowns. One to backup tight end Cam Brown, and the other to Colby Ransom.
And also ran one in for himself as well. And they'll give it to Fields. He's got running room and a big shoulder and a first down. It looks like he's trying to put the nail in the coffin here, Danny.
Yeah, he gets the first down and takes a member of the defense with him.
Yeah,
Look at the shoulder tackle.
Took Tyler Hayes to the turf with him.
Look at this. What power from Wesley Fields. The grown man's game, Greg.
And even though he's not that big, 5'11", 200, you don't mess with him. First down and 10 for Southern. And they'll go back to Fields, and that time the defensive line there to greet him and bring him down for a gain of 4 or 5 yards on the play. And all the while, the clock continues to tick. This next play will take us down inside 5 minutes.
Now keep in mind, Greg, UMass does have all 3 of their timeouts left, so if things get out of hand, as far as Georgia Southern on the offensive side, expect UMass to burn those timeouts.
Well, here's the thing. Although Southern has technically doubled up UMass so far, it is only a 14-point game. UMass is keeping their timeouts for the end because they believe if they can score, they'll go for the onside kick or use their timeouts and turn it around. 2nd down and 6. This is the give to LaRoche. Couldn't get much space there. That'll bring up 3rd down at about 2 or 3 yards. That'll bring up 3rd down and 3. Grant Walker, the redshirt freshman out of Ellenwood, Georgia, coming onto the field.
First charge timeout of the half. It's a 30-second timeout.
And UMass will burn their first timeout. Danny, this one's interesting, but they wanted to stop the clock, although I'm a little confused why they took so long after the end of the play to do it.
Your guess is as good as mine, Greg. 4:26 left to go in the 4th quarter. It's going to be 3rd down and 3. You know Georgia Southern's going to run the ball. And if they get a first down here, expect UMass to use another timeout. Take a look at Chad Lunsford rallying the troops, speaking to his defense about what they need to do here, or the offense, I'm sorry, what they need to do on this 3rd down play.
Monteo Garrett expected to get the give here. Instead, Wirtz will keep it. Himself falls forward to the 25. This is going to be very close. And he's got the first down. And then you got to wonder if you're UMass, why burn that timeout?
Well, at this point, Georgia Southern may just run short plays, 2 or 3 yards, just to keep milking the clock.
Well,
and they
here's
may
the
go for the
reality.
touchdown towards the end.
A field goal clinches this game. That makes it a 3-score game.
Always that option as well. And nonetheless, Georgia Southern in complete control.
Murray goes in motion up the middle to go to right. Falls forward, takes a couple members of the defense with him. Medium-sized gain, call it 5 yards, and all the while, the clock will tick down.
I'm actually surprised UMass not calling any timeouts here. I mean,
I understand not calling any on this drive. I'm not sure I understand calling that one headed into third down. That's what I don't. Because if you're going to save him for the final drive, save him for a final drive, you know? Second down and 5 yards. Murray in motion. They give the Fields. Spins ahead of the 15-yard line. If he didn't get it, he's going to be a half-yard short, but I think that should move the chains.
and this is the beauty of the option ran by Georgia Southern. They have plenty of space on the right side where if Shyworth were to keep it, would have had great yardage.
And he's got the first down by about a half yard. That will move the chains, and they will rush Murray off the field. And Southern close to putting the nail in the coffin on this one. And what a revenge saga it would be. The loss to UMass last year was so bad that it ended the previous coaching administration. And what a win of significance this would be as they give to Monteo Garrett. Garrett inside the 5. That should be another first down. And Southern has nearly clinched this one.
It was that loss last season that went to the decision of having Chad Lunsford be the interim head coach for the remainder of the 2017 year. Timeout called by UMass.
All right, home stretch of this one on ESPN Plus. We will take one final break and see if Georgia Southern can put the nail in the coffin against the Minutemen defense. Georgia Southern has the ball. First down and goal from their 5-yard line of UMass. This would make it officially a 3-touchdown game and would likely put the nail in the coffin. Shyworth there to take the snap, flanked by Logan Wright and Monteo Garrett. Monteo stays on his feet, dives forward, and clinches this game for Georgia Southern. They are going to beat UMass.
And a great play up the middle. Garrett able to juke and maneuver his way through multiple UMass defenders. Finds the end zone. It's now a 3-score game. And this may be it for UMass as Georgia Southern about to make it potentially 34-13.
And what a meaningful win for this group of Georgia Southern Eagles. The PAT from Bass is good. He has been perfect. 34-13. We'll talk about the upcoming schedule for these two teams and what this meant after the break on ESPN Plus. But for now, it's a great night in Statesboro. So Monteo Garrett puts the nail in the coffin. Georgia Southern is going to wind out the clock and take down UMass 34-13, but the difficult schedule is just warming up for Georgia Southern because their next two games are absolutely brutal as they get ready to kick it away because Danny, just a week from now, unless Hurricane Florence changes everything, they're going on the road to Clemson.
Yeah, and the good thing about this for Georgia Southern, they have a bye week in between those two games. After Clemson, they'll have a week to rest, and then the real challenge begins. They open up Sun Belt Conference play here at Paulson against the Red Wolves.
And Bass will take this one away with just over 2 minutes left. Is he trying to kick a field goal? Came pretty close. And UMass will stay in the end zone to take it from the 20. And here's the thing about that next home game for Eagle Nation here, Danny. Not only is it because it's against Arkansas State, a team that has produced very eventful games against them the last few years. More importantly, across the board, Arkansas State picked to win the entire Sun Belt Conference in 2018.
Well, the good thing for the Eagles is that the Arkansas State offense is fairly similar to what they're seeing tonight against UMass, and they've done a great job limiting Andrew Ford and Ross Comas.
Yeah, but Justice Hansen, the Arkansas State quarterback, that is a whole different drink of water. On first down, Ford into QB them, hits Young into hands, and he can't hold on to it with his hands. That's incomplete.
Yeah, and not to mention what you said about the Red Wolves quarterback. He was the 2017 Offensive Player of the Year in the Sun Belt and was the preseason Offensive Player of the Year for 2018.
Yeah, and whether or not he's drafted, the fact of the matter is that a lot of people who follow the Sun Belt Conference expect him to end up on an NFL roster somehow, some way next year. And flags come in.
Could be a mid to late round draft pick.
Prior to snap, false start. Offense, number 5. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Isabella, wide receiver on the false start.
He has not made many mistakes tonight, only dropped one pass. He's been, of course, their leading receiver. Isabella made 9 catches tonight, just under 100 yards receiving.
2 minutes, 4 seconds.
But believe it or not, no passing touchdowns tonight for UMass. That's pretty unbelievable. Ford will look to throw. Down the sideline, throws it away, out of bounds. Third down and 15. So that next home game against Arkansas State, looking at all of them, Danny, here's the thing about the Georgia Southern schedule this year. Yes, they are playing all the best teams in the Sun Belt Conference. They're hosting App State, they're hosting Troy, they're hosting Arkansas State. At least all those games are at home.
Yeah, that's going to be a big help for Georgia Southern as they're trying to rebuild here this season.
3rd and 15. It's the draw and absolutely nothing doing. Great takedown there. And they'll bring up 4th down as Ian Bush took him down. And they'll go for it because why not?
At this point, you have no choice.
Yeah, just a hair over 90 to play. Ford will look downfield as the pocket collapses. Gets rid of it. Intercepted. And that is the ball game.
That was Ben Ziose, the redshirt freshman from Lawrenceville, Georgia, coming in late in the 4th quarter. Right place at the right time, waiting for his moment to pick it off.
Yeah, the defensive secondary has been all over the place with knockdowns and interceptions in the first 2 games this year, Danny.
Once again, another. Well, hold on just a second. A flag on the play.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct against the Georgia Southern team. 15-yard penalty. Result of the play is 1st and 10.
Unsportsmanlike conduct from the Eagle defense. They're riled up. But can you blame them, Greg? They have played tremendously on the defensive side, limiting UMass, a team that averages over 30 points a game, to just 13 points a night, and you see them celebrating on the side. Well, along with the big turnover chain.
Here's the impressive thing about the Southern defense tonight, Danny, is it's not like they haven't given up yardage. They've given up 215 passing yards to UMass, and they've given up over 100 rushing yards. What they didn't do is give up touchdowns, and that's, compared to what happened last year against this team, that's a pretty unbelievable swing.
Yeah, every time UMass was in the red zone, Georgia Southern was able to limit them to just field goals.
Wirtz in there to kneel it down. We'll have to do it a couple more times, and that is the beginning of the end of this game. So Georgia Southern, after a 2-10 season, in the next 75 seconds, Danny, will have already matched their win total from 2017.
But the job is not done. They have a lot to look forward to. Number 2 ranked Clemson, as long as things stay up. And then they open up Sun Belt Conference play against Arkansas State.
So Clemson next week, unless the hurricane comes for the South Carolina border. Then an off week. And then the best team in the Sun Belt Conference in Arkansas State. It is a brutal stretch. But as this Georgia Southern team kneels out the clock to win this game 34-13, they are 2-0 on the season, and they believe that they are up to the challenge.
And that'll do it right there. Final kneel by Shy Warriors. The Eagle team has a lot to celebrate. Off to a great start for 2018, now 2-0. Both games here at Paulson Stadium. And one thing that they wanted to do this season was to bring back the fans after what happened last year.
Chad Lunsford, a 2-0 season. And the new era of Georgia Southern football is underway after a huge revenge win, Danny, against UMass. Let's not minimize what this win tonight means for them.
It means a lot. It gets them back on the right direction. It evens the score from last season's loss, and it evens the all-time series 2-2.
Well, folks, this was a great one. 34-13, your final score tonight, as Georgia Southern gets a big revenge win in the rematch of the 1998 D1AA National Championship football game. So for Danny Waugh and our whole crew here at Georgia Southern University's Multimedia Digital Center, I'm Greg Talbot saying so long from Statesboro, Georgia, where the final score is 34-13 Eagles. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a proud presentation of ESPN.